Hi. Today I'm going to explain one of the important concepts of finance. Let me begin by a small story. The other day I was sitting in the cafeteria near one of the colleges where I teach. I overheard a group of students talking, and one of them abruptly said, "Bro, I got this 5,000 rupees from my uncle last year." And then there was a little pause. If only I had saved it, I could use it for the trip which we are planning. And then another one replied and said, "Saved it. I would have invested it in the stock market," she mentioned. "It's gone up like 60%. They didn't knew, but they were discussing something really important. A concept that sits at the core of every financial decision we ever make. And that concept is called as the time value of money. That's exactly we are going to explore today. The idea why money today is more valuable than same money in the future. And I repeat, it is more a dollar received today is more valuable than a dollar received tomorrow or in the future date. This this concept is called as time value of money. And once you get to it, you will start seeing it everywhere, probably in your investments, in your decisions that you take, and even in such conversations that I overheard in the cafeteria. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. But before that, let me introduce myself. I am Hashim, and I've been in the field of finance and taxation for over 6 years, working across both academia and finance industry. I teach undergraduate and postgraduate students specializing in finance and tax. For MBA, MCOM, ACCA, CFA, CMA, CPA programs across various business schools here in Bangalore. And I'm really glad to take up the session today with you all folks and to simplify what may sound like technical topic, but it's actually something you will see all around. So what's the way it works for? Again, quickly, in simple terms, TVM means a dollar received today is worth more than a dollar received tomorrow. Let's break down this into four simple ideas, all rooted in common sense. The first one is the value of money changes with time, or probably I would put it in this way: the value of the money changes over time. Have you heard of someone, or you might have heard your elders or your parents talking about in our days, I'm iterating that. In our days, we used to go to the movies, eat at the canteen, and still have some change left, all for 100 rupees. Can we try doing that today? It's highly impossible. Why? Because money loses its value over time due to inflation or the opportunity cost. So, what I mean to say here is the rising cost. So, the 100 rupees today won't buy the same things it did 5 years ago, or probably even the last year. So, that's one core concept. The second core concept of the time value of money is that the money received today is worth more than the money received tomorrow. Why am I telling that? In simple terms, if I have to explain, if someone offered you 10,000 like right now, right? 10,000 right now, or there is another opportunity or another scenario I would create, a 10,000 a year after. Which one would all of us take? Most of us would like to have that money right now. Absolutely, right? Isn't it? Because money today can be used to create more money. Whether you can probably invest it or start something with it or just save it smartly. So we want the money to grow, and we want the money to be utilized like right now. That's the second major aspect. And when we talk about a third concept, or the third major concept of time value of money, or TVM, is money can grow if you use it wisely, or the principle recognizes that the money can grow in value by investing. So in simple terms, if I have to put it, it can grow if you use it wisely. So remember a conversation that we had, or I overheard the students. So one of those students I overheard said that they would have invested the money where probably I would think of no other option than the stock market. That was smart thinking, isn't it? If it was done with the right knowledge. So in layman terms, if I have to tell, money when invested has the potential to grow over time. Just like how a plant grows when you water it consistently, your money grows when you invest it with purpose. And the fourth major aspect when we talk about DTVM is the formula for computing time value of money, it considers the amount of money, its future value, the amount it can earn, and the time frame. Three major aspects you have to remember here: time, money, and opportunity. All of these three things are interconnected, or I would say those are linked with each other. What we really learn here in financial decisions are not just about how much, but it is actually when. I repeat, the financial decisions are not just about how much, but when. Letting money sit idle or delaying the smart decision means you are missing out on opportunity or potential opportunities to grow, or for that, in that growth perspective. And that's the time value of money in action. And over time, those small decisions that you take, it creates a big difference. So this is the concept of time value of money. All right, now that we know what is time value of money and what is the core idea or the core concept behind TVM and why money today is more worth than money tomorrow, let's dig a little bit deeper and understand the next important question. Why? Why does money have time value in the first place? For that, we have identified, the financial experts have identified three main reasons. And trust me, you will see them everywhere, not just in the textbooks. Let me break them down with simple and real life example. The first reason for time value of money is risk and uncertainty. Let's say, to help you better understand, I say or I promise to give you 1000 today, or another scenario, a 1000 year after. Now you might ask me, will I actually get that money a year from now? That's the first reason why the money has the concept of time value. Risk and uncertainty. There is always a chance something might go wrong in the future. It might not happen at that instance. Probably I might forget, I might lose touch, or I might not have the money at that given point of time, or I just do not want to follow up with you. There might be a multiple reasons to this risk, and when there is risk, there is always uncertainty evolving around that. Example: if someone offers to repay a loan after 2 years, right? I repeat, if somebody offers to repay a loan after 2 years, there is always a risk of default, especially if they do not sign any contract. So you would rather have the money now where you can have a control of it. That's why people, especially when I say people, I do not mean generic people. That's why the banks, they charge interest on loans to cover the potential of risk, right? They are waiting to cover that risk and the waiting time that they have. I hope I am clear on the first instance and the first reason. The second reason why it is important is that it preference for consumption, preference for, I would say, present consumption. The second reason is something we all relate to. We prefer to enjoy things like right now and not in the later instance. Let me ask you one question: would you rather eat your favorite dessert now or a week from now? Most of us would say that it is like right now, and please, it's right now. Why? Because waiting comes with a cost, and that's true for money too, isn't it? Say, for example, imagine you are given 5,000 today and you could buy a new phone accessory, I would say, or go on a short trip with your friends, or probably enjoy spending that little bit of money what you have in your bank account. But if I say, wait for 1 year to get the same amount, that is 5,000 rupees, does it excite you? No, right? It doesn't excite, because your plans and needs are happening today, at this time, at this moment. That is the natural tendency to prefer current consumption over delayed benefits, and it is the big reason behind the time value of money. The third one, and perhaps the most powerful reason, is this: money today can be invested to earn more tomorrow. In other words, I have to tell, it is the investment opportunity, or in simple terms, if I put it, it is money can grow. Say, for example, if you have 10,000 today, you could probably put it in an FD, a fixed deposit, or invest in the stock markets, or even start a very small business, I would say. That 10,000 could become probably 11,000, 12,000 over a period of time. I'm not telling the time frame, but over a period of time, depending on what you are doing, whether it is a fixed deposit or a stock investment or a business, it might has a potential to earn an additional charge, I would say, additional profits. From 10,000, you can convert your money to 12,000 or maybe 15,000 over time. This depends on how you utilize the money. But if you wait, I again repeat, but if you wait to receive the same 10,000 a year after, what are you losing? You have lost the opportunity, or you have lost the chance to grow it. So every day you're dealing, or every day you delay using your investment or investing your money, you are giving up on the opportunity to earn something extra. So why TVM is just a common sense, if I have to tell you. Let me just sum it up, all these three reasons. So to quickly sum it up, what does money have? Why does money have time value of money? Because the future is uncertain. The risk always exists. Because we naturally prefer to enjoy our money now and not later. And the third major reason is because today's money can be invested and turned into more money. That's why I would again say a rupee or a dollar received today is more valuable, or is has the more value than the rupee or dollar received tomorrow. You don't need to memorize that. You just look around, and from now, from how we spend, or from how we spend, save, lend, or invest, this principle is everywhere. Everywhere. Trust me, it is everywhere. Now, so far we have understood what is the concept of time value of money and why money today is more valuable than money tomorrow. Now, let us move into the how. How do we actually measure or work with the value of money across time? So, to understand this better, there are two basic techniques under the concept of TVM. One, the first technique we call it as the compounding technique. The second one is the discounting technique. So the compounding technique is which helps us calculate the future value. It is also called as the future value of money. And the discounting technique which helps us to calculate the present value. In other terms, the discounting technique is also called as the present value of money. Let me break down these two concepts without using any formulas for now. Just understand this with the help of the real life understanding. So compounding or future value. What is compounding? This is all about how much your money will grow if you give it time. So we use compounding to calculate what a certain amount of money today will be worth in the future. So we are talking about the future value of money. Imagine you put 10,000 in your saving bank account today. Every year it earns a little bit of interest, I would say. And the next year your interest is not just on your original 10,000, but also on the interest from the year before. That's compounding. Interest that is earning interest. Interest earning interest. Your money builds on itself like a snowball. Have you seen a snowball rolling down a hill? So the longer you let it grow, the bigger it gets. This is why people say start investing early, because compounding is most powerful when you give it time. I hope I'm clear on the compounding technique or the future value. The second technique is discounting, or it is also called as the present value. Now, it is the opposite of compounding, that is discounting. Discounting is all about figuring out what money you will receive in the future is worth today. I repeat, it is all about figuring out what money you will receive in the future is worth today. Let's say, for example, someone offers you 50,000 after 5 years. 50,000 after 5 years. Would you consider that 50,000 the same as 50,000 in your hand right now? No, right? Because there are various factors involved, like factors like inflation. Inflation will reduce its value, isn't it? You can't use it today, and you're taking a risk by waiting, right? You have to wait probably a year or two, or probably you'll have to wait 5 years. So you're taking a huge risk by waiting. So what do? We discount the future amount. We pull it back to the present to figure out how much would I need today to be equal to 50,000 5 years from now. This helps not only the investors but also the banks, the businesses to make smart decisions. Or let me put it, the smart decisions here, it could be the capital budgeting decisions. That's another topic for another video. So basically what I mean here is, should I take the money now or wait? Should I invest in this project or not? These questions are to be answered with the help of discounting technique. It helps us answer all of those questions. So now if I have to bridge the two techniques, or if I have to correlate the two techniques, that is the compounding and the discounting technique, the big picture here is compounding is about pushing money forward in time, basically growing it. And discounting is all about pulling money back in time. Basically, we are valuing its worth today. Both the techniques are based on the concept of TVM, that is, or the time value of money principles. They just look at from the opposite directions. So you will see this used in probably savings for the retirement, or valuing a company, or valuing a corporate, valuing your investments, probably to understand what is the interest or what is the loan amount that you're going to take on mortgage decisions or leasing techniques or leasing decisions, all the business related project plannings, even in decisions on how much an insurance policy is worth, all of these in the concept of time value of money, including both compounding as well as the discounting technique. Now, let's move on to the differences between the future value and the present value. The difference between future value and present value, future value of money, it refers to the value of the present money at a specified future date, at a specified interest rate. So you are trying to analyze what is the value of the money that you are currently holding at a future date, at a future specified rate of interest. So whenever we talk about future value, there is always the component of interest associated with it. Okay. And whereas the present value of money, it refers to the value of the future money at the present date. So what are we trying to understand here? In the first instance, in the future value, we are trying to analyze what is the value of my money today of a future price. And in the present value, we're trying to determine the futuristic price, whatever I'm going to receive, what is its current worth. So basically the future value is also known as the compounding technique. That is what our second difference say. And in the present value, it is the discounting technique. The third pointer, if I have to put some light on, it is the value of the asset which is determined at the end of the period. So whatever interest that you're getting, or whatever the dividends that the companies declare, or whatever interest you earn on your savings bank account, it is at the end of the period. Why? Because the concept is associated with the future value. And when we talk about the present, it is at the beginning of the period. So whenever the period begins, I am determining the futuristic value at the current date. And moving on, it is the nominal value which does not consider the inflation factor. So when we are valuing the future value, or when we are when we are solving the problems based on future value, we do not consider the factor of inflation. But whereas in present value, we have to take the factor, or we have to consider inflation, because it discounts everything. Clear? And for future value, like I said in the first pointer, it considers only the interest rate, but in the present value, it comprises of both the interest rate as well as the inflation rate. The formula to calculate future value and present value is as follows. Future value is denoted as FV, where FV is future value is equal to P naught into 1 plus R to the power N. And the present value, PV, is equal to F naught into 1 divided by 1 plus R to the power N. R here could be the interest rate, and N is the number of years. 1 we take it from the financial perspective. And F naught and P naught are the values of the present and the future value of the money. Well, that's it from my end for today's session. We will solve the practical examples on future value of money and present value of money in our upcoming sessions. So far we've understood the concept of time value of money, why it is important, why people tend to start investing early. All of these concepts, I hope I am clear on this. We will start solving the practical problems on future and present value, basically the concept of time value of money. Thank you so much. Have a good day.